So I'm here today with Patricia Wright. He founded this the National Park Run Fund here in Madagascar. So I'm going to ask her a few questions on the park and yeah. So my first question is what inspired you to create a park here at Run Fund?
You know, the first step was when I discovered a new species of lemur here, the golden bamboo lemur, and that was pretty exciting. And then I rediscovered another bamboo lemur called the greater bamboo lemur. We thought it was extinct, but we found it here. And then I started to study them. And I was busy, following them and studying them when some people came in and started to chop down the trees. Timber exploiters. And I got really sad because that was the home of the bamboo lemurs and all the rest of the lemurs. So I went to the capital, which is in Tenerife, and I complained to the big boss, the director. And I said, this forest is beautiful, it's wonderful, and it has 2 new species, one new species, one rediscovered species, and 10 more. And so you shouldn't let them cut down the forest. And he said, well, I agree with you. We didn't know. We didn't have any idea that it was that rich a forest until you told us. So we will be glad to help you. But the problem is that making a national park takes a lot of money. So you find the money, he said, and we will help you make the park. But I was just, a young professor. I didn't have any money. So that's when I had to start to become a fundraiser and raise some money for making it a park. And we did it, and it's our 25th anniversary now. Celebrating it in 2 weeks.
How does the park benefit villages nearby? Does the park have any negative effects on the local villages?
Well, the first thing we did when we established the national park is talk to the local villagers and say to them, if it's a national park, that forest, you can't go in anymore. And you can't take, any kind of food out of it, and you can't cut down the trees, and you can't take honey that the bees have made. And so we want to make an agreement with you that we'll help you out with some things if you help us out by not taking these things from the forest. And then we talked about what they would like. And the first thing they said was schools, because they don't have any schools around the park. And that was like a surprise for me. And then the next thing they said was health care, and they wanted to have a doctor they could go to. The third thing they said they wanted to help with their farming, because they're all farmers. And the fourth thing they needed was a soccer ball, because they were playing soccer with a bunch of vines wrapped in a ball, which doesn't work very well. So the first thing I did next time when I came back to Madagascar is I went to every village and gave them a soccer ball. And then since that time, we've been working on the other things. We built schools, we built health clinics, we brought in doctors. We've been working with them to increase the economy. That means, helping them with their farming, etc. And so it's a relationship between the two of us. We work at the two, meaning the people that protect the park and work on research in the park, and the people that are living around the park. That come to see the lemurs, and they didn't believe me. They said, "Why would somebody come to see the lemurs?" And I said, because you cannot find lemurs anywhere else in the world, just Madagascar. And they looked at me like I was a little bit crazy. But guess what? People are coming to the park. And in the beginning I said, when they come, they should pay fees. They should pay. And then half of that money would go back to help out you that live around the park. And so in 1991, when we had our inauguration, that was made a law. And so half of your fees, so you've already helped with the villages, because half of the fees that you pay go directly back to the people. And what do they do with it? Sometimes they do a lot of different things. Sometimes they buy seeds to grow, sometimes they They help put on a roof on their school that's leaking. They're community projects for the people.
So, how many visitors do you get a year?
Last year, we had 31,000 visitors to Treatman-Clark National Park. That's a lot for Madagascar.
Okay. And does tourism provide enough money to support the park?
Well, it does. It provides this park, which is very popular, generates a lot of money, but it's not enough money for the whole park system. Because since we made this park, there are about 20 more parks. So the cost of the parks gets bigger and bigger. So it's not quite enough for all the parks. So they're still trying to get money in some other way. If you have any suggestions.
So are there any conflicts between the park and local people?
Sometimes there are conflicts between the park and local people. For example, we had a problem with gold mining in the park this year. First time we've had that problem, but some people came into the park and started to mine for gold. And do you know what that means? That means that they go to the streams and they pan for gold. You know about panning for gold. They're doing that inside the park. So we had to get the gendarmes, those are the police, the soldiers, and we had to go with the National Park Service and some of us researchers to go in there and tell them that they could, this is the park boundaries. They could pan gold outside the park, but not inside.
Lemurs are found at Treatman-Clark.
All together?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, species.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 12 species that we had all along. But now we're discovering that we have a new mouse lemur, and we might even have a new dwarf lemur species. So that's pretty exciting. So we may have 14, 15. You will see. It's very exciting.
Yeah. And are there any plants or animals that are only found here?
Yes. There are plants and animals that are only found here, and you know one of them is the golden bamboo lemur, only found in Treatman-Clark. You know, all the plants and animals that you find in Madagascar that are natural are only found, pretty much only found in Madagascar. But sometimes you have species that are found in different national parks, like, let's see, the shifakas. Actually, the truth is, the shifakas you saw today are only found here too. Because they used to be found in the southern park called Andrikacha, but nobody's seen them there anymore. So they're not there, so it's just this one. Huh.
And are there any species that might be extinct if it weren't for, yeah?
Oh yes, there are species that might be extinct, and if they weren't here in the Treatman-Clark National Park. And that's the golden bamboo lemur. It's like the only place. And maybe the shifakas that you saw today. And the black and white rough lemur that you were so lucky to see. Those are the only found in one other reserve plus here. So it's not, they're getting to be, it's great that we made the park because we had a chance to save a lot of different species.
Okay. Does tourism have any negative effects on the park?
Well, tourism actually has a lot of positive effects, but there are some negative effects. You might have noticed when you were out there, sometimes the tourists are talking really loud, and the lemur, and there's a lot of them, and there's a problem with managing the tourists, so that sometimes you have lots of tourists underneath 4 lemurs, and it's hard for the lemurs, I think, because they're hearing all this noise down on the ground and people watching them. So I think it would be better if we had some sort of a management policy where we say 6 people see the lemurs at a time. Then we have them go and see them, and then they come out, and then another 6 come in, and then they come out. So there's a little bit of a negative effect because there's too many tourists now. But this is the high tourist season right now. It isn't like this all year round. It's just like this 3 months a year.
Yeah. And do they like litter or they pollute?
Sometimes they litter, and if they litter, you noticed you had to have a guide with you, right?
Yeah.
And that guide is supposed to say, please don't throw trash in legal territory in the national park, and they're supposed to pick it up. And they can't make people pick it up, but they usually do. And that's different than you have in America too, is the fact that we have guides that are with you when you're in a national park. You can't drive in a national park, you have to walk. And then you have a guide, and the guide tells you, don't speak so loud to the lemurs, don't leave the trails, don't throw trash. But sometimes the guides are very polite to the tourists and they forget to tell them. So that's when we run into troubles.
Okay. How long have you been working at Treatman-Clark?
You know, I came here 30 years ago, and we made the park 25 years ago, and so it's the 25th anniversary of the park. But the truth is, I have been here a very long time, and I think I really like it here. It's a beautiful place. And you have to come back again.
Well, hopefully. Thank you.
You're welcome.